Yes, it's funny you bring that up. It seems like a lot of people want to forget it, but I don't. Now, right after World War II, American veterans who had been living in Tennessee before they went into the war came back to Athens, Tennessee, which is in McMinn County, Tennessee. And their families have been writing to them about the jackbooted thugs who had become the political machine, who were destroying people's freedom, who were locking people up on false charges, who were denying the vote to people. And the veterans decided to get together, and they started their own political party called the GI Party. And the GI Party challenged the existing political machine. And it was quite a day for voting, because the political machine went in and stole the ballot boxes, even shot a poll watcher, and trying to tell the people, we're going to have fair elections. You can't trust the GI Party. Turns out the criminals from the political machine held up in the sheriff's jail. And what ensued after that was the GI Party getting together other GIs who had experience in explosives, blowing the door off the jail, an 8-hour shootout with the sheriff and his thugs. Same thing as your police chief and his thugs. And they all surrendered, and finally the GI Party took over the political system, and they brought some justice back to McMinn County, to Athens, Tennessee. The entire story of the Battle of Athens, Tennessee is on our website at jpfo.org, and there's not only our article, but other articles that appeared in other publications.
And notice
what we're saying.
And notice when people stood up, the state didn't come in and arrest them because it was a citizen's arrest of an unlawful criminal government.
Well, in fact, the criminal politicians called the governor asking him to send in the National Guard. And the governor informed he wasn't about to send in the National Guard to shoot it out with veterans who had just returned from World War II. So the government told them, the governor said, sorry, guys, you're on your own here. And they were booted out of office. And, of course, then the GI Party took over.
But that was back when this country...
brought back to McMinn County.
But that's why this country was once free, because men who weren't looking for trouble wouldn't let their children be slaves. How have we gotten this attitude of being slaves? I mean, how do we turn into this?
Well, I'm not sure I have the total answer, Alex, but a lot of it has to do with people just getting fat, dumb, and happy, and not paying attention to the lack of knowledge that should be distributed in the public school system. And we've raised 2 generations now of people they really don't appreciate the history of America and the blood and guts that's been spilled to make America America. We also have people who have become, again, fat, dumb, and happy, and they want the government to do things for them. And every time you give that much power to the government destroys freedom, because the government fears freedom.
Aaron Zelman, I want to shift gears and talk to Darwin Boedecker, who operates the show and has now had his livelihood destroyed just because the police say so and the BATF and Obama say so. Any comments or advice you've got for Darwin, who's online with us right now?
Well, Darwin, I think that you've got to stand tall. You've got to really tell others about the situation. You've got to create a grassroots fire, a tea party, so to speak, of your own, to get, there must be a couple of million gun owners in Texas, and get them damn hopping mad, and so that the powers to be are going to feel the heat, so that you can put the powers on the run.
You know, Obama calls us bitter clingers because we cling to our Bibles, which is, moral, and our guns. Well, that's really your freedom of religion, your freedom of speech, your freedom to defend yourself. Of course we cling to it. It's all we've got left in America.
Well, I think those are the 3 things that are worth fighting for. And I think that, as we say at JPFO, the time has come in America for people to decide if they are willing to live by God's law, where human beings are commanded to defend their lives and help others, or if we're now ready to die from man's law and and have no freedom at all.
But that's what George Washington said.
God's law and man's law.
Well, that's what George.
We've got to instill this thought amongst people.
Well, that's what George Washington said over and over again. He said, "Look, this is tyranny. I'm not going to live on my knees as a slave."
Well, apparently you've got some folks in Texas and then the gun owners throughout America that don't seem to give a damn. And so you got to find out why.
Well, people are hopping mad. Going back to Darwin. Darwin, you're seeing huge grassroots anger right now, aren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, the flood of emails that we've gotten in, in the last 24 hours is astounding. Everything from, we support you to we'll drive from Nebraska to come to your next show. I mean, the support is definitely out there, and I just, I hope people keep on sending that kind.
But now there's no show. See, first they said no private sales of guns or we'll shut your show down, and now they just say it's just shut down. I mean, that is so illegal to have the police go tell the landlord, don't put them in there for no reason.
Yeah,
well, I think what you've got to do is make sure that the powers
the kind of PR you think you were going to get from not allowing to have a show in there is the exact opposite of what's going to what's going to really happen.
Aaron, what were you saying?
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think that at this point you've got to find some gun owners who are going to stand tall and go pay the mayor a visit. Tell him that we have to get rid of this police chief before sunset today. That he will no longer be tolerated, and neither will you, Mayor. He's not gone by sunset today. But you've got to get lots of gun owners knocking on the mayor's door.
We do need to flood the...
You've got to go beyond the chief of police, and you've got to make it very clear that anybody, by the way, is promoting the secessionist movement in Texas. If they're not behind this effort, shame on them.
Stay there.